I'm executive. I'm Byron Wilcott.
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
How you doing?
Man, chilling. How are y'all?
Hanging in there, man. Having a good night. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Just babysitting this dog, hanging out here. How's everything going?
Alrighty. We definitely got some questions for you, and maybe even take some calls from. Sorry?
That I'm definitely glad for y'all to have me on the interview.
We got a great show for you.
So how does it feel? I guess the big question is, how does it feel to be the NWA Northern American champion, World Heavyweight champion?
It's the NWA North American Heavyweight champion.
I kept on getting that mixed up throughout the whole entire week.
It's okay. I'm going to make it famous. I'm going to make it even more famous than Barry Windham did.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it did.
That's right.
But it feels stupendous. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate all the hard work the NWA has put behind and publicizing my title win and getting me out there to the country, letting people see me, letting them see what I can do.
I got a couple of questions.
Didn't you beat Carson for that?
Say that again?
Didn't you beat Carson for the championship?
I did beat Carson for it.
Yeah, you guys are legit. I mean, y'all look like, y'all belong in places like WWE, TNA, and those places. Y'all just look like I was talking to Felix about it earlier. Y'all fit the part for what a superstar look. Y'all just look like, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all just have it.
Definitely. Like I got to give Carson all the credit in the world. I think Carson's only been wrestling 2 years, and he looks phenomenal, and he wrestles really, really well, So you got to give props to him. He carried the title and won it and carried it for a while. I ended up beating him, but it was pretty tough. But you got to give him props because he does look the part. I try to look the part. I'm in the weight room almost every day, do a cardio, watch what I eat, and try to look the part, Nobody wants to pay the average.
Yeah, no doubt. And so you're trying to get back to WWE? Is that your eventual goal?
My goal right now is the NWA and making the NWA the best it can be. That's my goal right now, is to carry the NWA North American title and show America who is the best wrestler in the whole new world. A lot of stuff happened for that title. Columbus lived for it. Ferdinand Magellan died for it, and Hernando Cortez killed just for the gold in that title.
There's a history lesson there for you, folks.
I know. I'm the champ of the whole new world, baby.
That's right. Now let me ask you real quick, if you don't mind, taking it back to the beginning, what kind of got it started for you? What piqued your interest about wanting to be a professional wrestler?
I actually remember the first time I watched professional wrestling. I didn't know anything about it. I used to go to my grandmother's house, and my cousin used to watch it. And, back then, telling my age, but back then, you had to have the rabbit ears on the TV.
I remember
and I watched World Class Championship Wrestling, and I watched the furthest match that I can remember back then is, I think it was two of the Von Erichs and Iceman King Parsons versus the Freebirds. That was the earliest match that I can remember.
Nice.
So I just grew up from there. I probably got introduced to it about 6 or 7, and just watched wrestling. And my cousin watched it. His dad watched it, and then my dad, he had cable, and so that's when, and at Grandma's house, I saw NWA, I think it was called Mid-Atlantic at the time, which later became WCW. I used to watch that, watch Sting, and then my dad had cable because where I lived, I think wrestling came on NBC, so for WWF came on NBC at the time. But and then
wasn't it like Saturday Night's Main Event?
Maybe that's what it was. I think it was Saturday Night Main Event, and so I never got the chance to see that because couldn't pick up Channel 6. But when my dad got cable, I was able to watch WWF. And that was when I first saw Hulk Hogan. And I had seen Junkyard Dog on Mid-South, but then I saw him again, with Hogan in the cartoon that was on TV. you know, so I kind of fell in love with it from there. Watching, I lived in a good time in a good area where I could watch world class. I could watch WCW. I could watch WWF, and there was other promotion. It wasn't AWA, but there was some other promotion that would come on. There was probably, maybe it might have been Memphis or somewhere in Arkansas or something, but it was kind of crappy. But I was just in a real good area where I watched 3 different shows on a Saturday morning.
Can't beat that.
Yeah, so that's how I got introduced into wrestling.
But how did you end up? How did it go about that you ended up? Because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you actually had a developmental contract with WWE. Is that right? Well,
first off, I didn't have a developmental contract. I had a WWE contract. Nowhere on there did it say developmental. Nowhere.
My bad.
But I was at FCW though. But so I guess I did have a developmental contract. I guess if you want to nitpick.
Oh no, trust me, I don't nitpick. But I wasn't sure exactly the terminology, but I appreciate you correcting me on that because, like I said,
I ain't trying
I'm
to
wrong.
Please
tell me.
I'm just messing with you. But yeah, like I did a lot of stuff leading up to that. Like I was in college, and it was my last year of college, and they did a local indie wrestling show in my city, and I didn't realize how it worked at the time, that they film all of this stuff in 2 days, and then they just broadcast it over the summer. So I'd see it on TV, and I go, I know where that is. And so I'd go on a Saturday, and nobody would be there. So I could never figure it out until I figured out a year later what had happened. And so I tried to find the people that were running it. But it was a good thing that I didn't, because between doing that, I snuck backstage. Me and my friend, we used to play wrestling in college, and, you know, we had a gymnasium with all the little pads for, like, the gymnastic girls and stuff would do. And so we'd do wrestling in there, and we filmed it, and I took the tape and snuck backstage to a WWE show. I had my suit on, like backstage. One of the security guards, his name's Jimmy, he promptly kicked me out after about 5 minutes. However, on the way out, I met Triple H and Ric Flair. They were getting out. They pulled up in a limo. It was just like a movie. So Ric Flair gets out of the car, and I was like, whoa, shoot, it's a Nature Boy. And I was like, Nature Boy is the greatest thing ever. That's awesome. He's like, yeah, great kid. And he walks on in the door. It didn't give me 2 seconds. And so then Triple H gets in the car. He gets his bag. I'm like, hey, Triple H, I'm Byron Wilcott. I want to be a pro wrestler. And he put his bags down, and he told me he spent about 5 minutes telling me how to break into the wrestling business. And he was like, first things first, anyone that you've never heard of before or seen on either BCW or WWE or World Class or something like that, if you haven't heard of them, there's no need in getting trained by them, because when you come up here and say, I was trained by this guy and this guy, we're not going on. So it's going to be harder for you to get your foot in the door. So I talked to him for about 5 minutes. He went on his merry way. And that night I stayed at the show, and who wrestled but Dr. Steve Williams. And he was living in Shreveport at the time. So maybe, I don't know, a couple months after that, I ended up getting money for my Pell Grant for college, wrestling school. So I went to Dr. Steve Williams Wrestling School in Bossier City. And so when I finally I graduated his wrestling school and graduated college, and I still trained at his school until he ended up getting cancer. And so when he got cancer, he ended up shutting the school down because he had to go to, I think he had to go to Texas every 2 weeks or every week or every 2 weeks to go get treatments. So he ended up shutting the school down. And after that, I ended up getting a job in Lafayette, and I met Rodney Mike and Jazz. And I started wrestling with their company out there and training with them. Nice. And so from meeting them, I got a lot of contacts and was able to go a lot of different places and get in the door through them because being one of their students. And so I eventually did a wrestling reality show called The Bussy Bunch that was on the Learning Channel. And after that, I went and lived in Germany for 2 months for the summer and I wrestled in Germany and in England and in France, and I came back.
Wow.
And right before I left, I met the guy who worked underneath the Ace. His name's Ty Bailey, and I met him. And it's crazy too, because like even before that, when I was wrestling with Rodney, WWE was having this I guess a tournament, or not a tournament, it was like some web contest on their web page. So you filled out a little bio thing, and they picked people from different regions of the country to try out. It was like before, it was like, I guess, that version of Tough Enough, but it wasn't Tough Enough. It was like just on their web page, and whoever won it got a contract to go to developmental. And so I did that, and that was my first thing with WWE. And Bill DeMott was just brutal at the thing, so didn't making it. But the good thing about it was when I went there, I met this guy named Mark Carano, and he's still there to this day. So before I left for Germany, WWE came to my town, and I got a whole bunch of DVDs and some T-shirts and some promo, like made a press kit, and went to give it to Mark Carano. And I got backstage. One of the referees that I met before got me backstage, and I went looking for Mark Carano. And so I'm like, hey, can I speak to Mark Carano? And Ty Bailey comes out. And he's like, well, maybe I can help you. Mark's busy. And I was like, no, I'll wait on Mark. And so I can't believe I said that, because this is Mark Carano's boss that I'm talking to, but I didn't know. So I was like, no, I'll wait on Mark. And he's like, well, he's busy, but I can help you. So I talked to him. I'm like not really that excited to meet him. You know, I'm like, I wanted to talk to Mark. But I didn't know that I was talking to the guy who would later hire me years later, you know. And it was just a chance opportunity. He gave me his card and was like, give me a call, you know, next time we're in town, and I'll try to get you on the list. So when I was in Germany, I told him, hey, I'm coming back home. I see y'all are in town. Can I get a shot? And so he got me on the list, and I went and did some extra talent jobs, and then nothing came of it. And what happened? I think also Luke Hawx got me on one. And when Luke Hawx got me on one, I met Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon had Johnny Ace come talk to Johnny for about 30 minutes. And after that, Evan Bourne was like, hey, dude, you know you just got signed. And I was like, I don't think so. And he's like, I'm telling you, I've been here 2 years, and I've never talked to Johnny Ace for longer than 10 minutes. You're getting signed. And so I ended up going down to FCW and doing a tryout, and I ended up getting signed. I know that was a long story. Sorry for it being so long. I'm long-winded.
No. That's an awesome story, man.
I was actually like, you know, when going to the FCW developmental place, what goes into the actual tryout? What do you do?
It depends. Like, they have two different ones. Like, they have one where, like, it may just be a single one, where it's just you and other developmental people that are already signed. And basically you come in, you say hi. I don't know what it is like now, because I think Dr. Tom isn't there, and Dr. Tom is awesome. I don't know why, but he is awesome. He's like the most realist dude and the most helpful guy you ever want to meet. But
if I'm not mistaken, Bill DeMott is the one in charge now, or at least I heard Billy Gunn is there running things too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
I don't know right now, but I know Bill DeMott's there, and I heard Billy Gunn was there too. I've worked with Billy Gunn on the Indies. He's a nice guy.
I've heard good things about him, definitely.
Super nice guy.
Do you actually keep up with the current storylines on both WWE and TNA television currently, or do you follow anything?
I really do keep up with WWE a lot. Like, I'm a big, like, I hate it when guys who are wrestling, my biggest pet peeve, when guys who are wrestling or are wrestlers, I don't watch WWE. And I'm like, well, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Anybody who's ever told me that, I think, you're a dumbass. You don't watch WWE. You know, and like, I hate it when it's like a 22-year-old guy who goes, yeah, I don't watch that. I watch WCW and NWA. And you're a dumbass. Because all these people that are watching WWE and all the people that go to shows probably watch WWE. And if you're watching WCW, you're doing it wrong, because not to say that WCW isn't great wrestling, it is, but the formula for a wrestling match now in people's minds is totally different from WWE. I mean, if you've ever watched one of the heels, you know, in the comeback, bumping feet, totally different now than what WCW used to do, and even World Class used to do, you know. So you got to touch with the product, you know, and the best way you can do that is to look at who's making money in the business. WWE is making money in the business, so why aren't you trying to learn from them and see how these guys are doing it? And even as a new guy right now, you can't watch Triple H and go, okay, well, I'm going to watch Triple H and I'm going to watch The Rock, and I'm going to go in there and wow these guys. Wrong. You better watch one of those two guys. You better watch Sheamus. You better watch Drew McIntyre or Heath Slater or even, Bo Rotunda, because those are the guys that they're training, and that's how they want you to wrestle. Like those guys, they don't want you to wrestle how Triple H wrestled 5-6 years ago. Not that it wasn't great. It's great, but you can't get away with the same stuff that Triple H can get away with now because he's got that seniority. You know, if you go in there and do what Triple H does, you're going to get chewed out. Exactly. So the only way to get an idea of what they want, because it's a business, it's not easy at all. You know, what they do, and none of those guys, what they do, even the guys go, oh, they're so sorry. They're not. They will eat you alive. They do this every day, whereas a lot of indie wrestlers only do it once a week. Mm-hmm. So you got to watch the product. I try to watch Raw every Monday. If I'm not booked on a Friday, I'll watch SmackDown. I try to watch TNA as much as I can. I'll DVR it or watch it on demand. I don't get to watch.
You actually, if by chance they decided to reach out to you at all, and this may come off like a silly question, but I'm curious. If TNA had actually asked you to participate in the gut check that they do to see about getting a contract with them, would you consider? Would you be interested? Would you actually try it, or would you like to be part of their roster? I guess I could say.
I'm the NWA North American heavyweight champion of the world. I'm the hottest thing in the whole new world. No, not do gut check. You better sign the contract. I'm the champion of the whole. I'm the new face of the NWA. You signed me to a contract. I'm not doing no gut check.
I have a question.
Gut check. Nothing wrong with people who did gut check. That's great. It's just not when you're the North American NWA champion, you know?
That's a respectable title, man. I agree.
Hey, I want to know, have you ever met a guy named Ryback?
Jeff Jarrett held that title. He defended it on Raw. You know, I can't let Jeff Jarrett down by going to heck.
Did you have a question there, Austin?
Yeah, I was going to say, have you ever met a guy named Ryback?
I don't know Ryback. I have no idea who Ryback is. I know a guy named Skip Sheffield. I know a guy named Ron Reeves. But I don't know why everybody keeps asking me if I know Ryback. Crazy.
That is too funny.
No, Ryback's a strong man. He's strong. He's a strong guy.
But you actually stood toe-to-toe with that guy.
You trying to get at something, Austin? What are you trying to get at? Why are you asking me that question? What are you trying to get at?
Oh, no. I was just bringing it up.
What are you trying to get at, Austin? You're trying to get at something.
No.
You didn't open your mouth, Austin. I want you to finish the statement.
Wait, you don't think you can go toe-to-toe with him in a wrestling match? So you don't think you can go toe-to-toe in a wrestling match?
Hold on. Somebody's Facebooking me. I couldn't hear you. It was beeping in my ear. Say that again now.
I said, do you think you can go toe-to-toe to him in an actual wrestling match if you had a chance to? You think you can take him down?
I've actually wrestled Ryan Reeves, Skip Sheffield twice and went up with him. And I had I was in the ring with Ryback, and I'm going to tell you, I was the toughest guy in that ring. You know what I mean? I was very intimidating and was the toughest guy in that ring. I think I saw him kind of tremble. So for about 6 seconds, I was the toughest guy in that ring.
You definitely stood up to him.
I wish you can do like WWE let them do more things.
And they cut my part on commercial. When they went to commercial break, they cut the part. I ain't gonna even tell y'all. Y'all got to look it up on the internet. They cut. But for about 6 seconds, I was looking real good there.
I'm sorry. What were you saying, Austin? Go ahead.
What did I just say?
You lost your train of thought. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I did.
I make the ladies lose their train of thought.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I wish WWE let Ryback do more, things in the ring that would they let him do. I mean, if you see, he looks like he's a monster, but he's a limited. That's the word I was about to use, but yeah.
You said he has limited what?
Repertoire.
Oh. I don't know.
Moves and so forth.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, if I'm Michael Jordan, how much do I really need to do when I'm fighting when I'm playing basketball against a high schooler? I'm not going to use all my stuff. That's probably how Ryback looks at it. He's like, I'm 300 pounds. I'm a monster. I'm a beast. I ain't got to do that much to beat these guys. So just eat them up and go home.
That's
like
true.
He's doing with the Shield. Even though, I'm huge fans of the Shield. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, they're definitely going to be the backbone WWE in the future.
Yeah, Roman Reigns looks like a beast, don't he?
I know. He looks like a lion.
Yeah. You got hair longer than mine. I think my hair is better. So I think me and Roman Reigns need to have a shampoo, conditioner endorsement and see who will win. Like Troy Palomino, what's his name? The dude that plays for the football team that has the Head and Shoulders commercial.
I can't. Isn't he the guy with you said an afro, and now it's like he has long. Yeah.
I think his name is Troy Palomino or something like that. Me and Roman Reigns could take his hair commercial, take over that sponsorship.
I got a question for you now. Growing up, as far as in the wrestling business, what's some of the best advice that you've been given that you still kind of hold near and dear as far as in the wrestling business that you've taken? Like anybody in particular give you some advice that you're like, well, that's a good idea. I think I'm going to stick with that kind of thing. Or even just something that just you kind of hung on to ever since you were told that. Does that make sense?
Let's see.
Some advice that kind of just stuck with you.
Dr. Tom told me, Johnny Ace told me there's different rules for different folks. And the sooner you learn that, the better off you'll be. And it's true. Like, there's different rules for different people. What else? I like that one. Another piece of advice was told is sometimes you have to be greedy. And I'm a very greedy man. I'm very greedy. So sometimes you have to be greedy and do what's good for you.
That's right. In the wrestling business, you got to look out for you. You got to go out there and make money, not friends. Well, if you can make friends, that's good. But you obviously got to look out for yourself, I'm sure.
Got to look out for yourself, make some money.
That don't hurt.
Sometimes it's okay to be greedy.
Have you actually gotten to meet some former NWA champions besides, of course, Ric Flair?
Who else have I met? I've met Ron Killings. I've actually Ron Killings and came to Tampa, and I was in charge of making sure he had a good time and go home okay. And he was he's the first NWA World Heavyweight Champion of African American descent. So,
that was actually a topic that had been discussed because there was a conflict, and maybe we can clear that up. And you can help me jog my memory, too, because I don't remember that far. But maybe I do. Was it Ron Killings or was it Bobo Brazil?
I'm pretty sure Ron Killings is the first official person of African-American descent to win the NWA World Heavyweight title. I don't think Bobo Brazil won it. If he did win it, it was on like a house show or something, a sanction something. You know how story about where Carlos Colon won it in Puerto Rico because people were going to riot, and then Flair's like, hey, I'm not getting killed here. You're winning the title. So it he could have won it. I don't know, but I don't know of anything official saying he ever won the NWA World Heavyweight title.
Okay.
You know, people get that mixed up. It's he didn't win the NWA World Heavyweight title. He was the first African American to win an NWA championship. It wasn't the NWA World Heavyweight Championship though.
Was it more like this? Okay, another title possibly. Okay.
Yeah, R-Truth was Ron Cohen was the first person to actually win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was the first one. I'm gonna be the second. I will be the second. Cahagas has, or Cahagas as I call him, because he's just holding that title for me. I'm going to be the second African American to win that title.
Yeah, so where's your next show coming up at?
Say that again?
I'm sorry. Where was your next show coming up at?
My next show is this Saturday.
Check it out.
The next show is this Saturday in Balch Springs, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. It's going to be at the Balch Springs Recreation Center, and it is called Texas Stampede Wrestling. I'll be posting the information at the top of my Facebook page when we get off the phone. Mm-hmm. And it's called the Bull of the Woods Tournament, and it's a tournament to determine who's going to be the heavyweight champion of the promotion. Also, the winner gets a $5,000 check that was donated to the promotion by Los Luchas Restaurant, which is Arlington, Texas. And Los Luchas Restaurant is a Lucha Libre-themed wrestling restaurant. So when you walk in, there's all sorts of wrestling posters, Lucha Libre mask, everything. The tables look like a wrestling ring. The bar has rope. The bar has turnbuckles and ring posts around the bar. So, but they're loose, so you can step over them, you know. And there's in the bathroom. The bathroom is actually a locker room. It looks like a locker room. So you have lockers there with Conan's name and picture on it, Blue Demon, all the guys from La Mascara is in there, all the guys from CMLL and AAA. But it's got a whole bunch of wrestling posters and wrestling things. And, of course, Mr. Addictive and Expensive, Byron Wilcott, the NWA North American Heavyweight Champions. Picture is up there, too. My glossy 8x10 is there, too.
There you go.
If you're in, come check out.
That's one place I have to make a checklist to go to.
What did she say?
So
that's one place I have to make a checklist to go to, definitely. I mean, I never even heard of that place.
It's right down the street from Texas Stadium, from the Cowboy Stadium. It's right down the street from it. So you can't miss it. It's called Los Luchas Restaurant.
So I got to ask you, Byron, with the news just coming out recently, now that we know where WrestleMania 30 is, are we going to see you there?
Well, I mean, if Vince buys me a ticket, pays for my price and gives me a ticket or has something backstage for me to do, I will be there.
Because I know I'm definitely making the trip from California. I'm heading that way. I definitely want to be there for the 30th anniversary.
Well, we're actually, like, if I'm going to talk to Tony Brooklyn and Bruce Tharp, who's the president of NWA, and see if I'm not signed with WWE at that time, you know, because I'm not really focused on that NWA. We may have our own NWA show WrestleMania weekend.
Hey,
I don't think Ring of Honor can come in my city, in my town, and just run a show without NWA being there. We may let them, but we'll see. We'll have to work something out.
That would be interesting because I know during WrestleMania weekends, at least from what I've seen over the years, a lot of the independent shows, the WrestleCon, Legends shows, they have little conventions, wrestling shows, and so forth, all during WrestleMania weekend, as I know because I'm actually going to New York and they're doing that out there too.
That's a little different in Louisiana, you see. Like, we have a history of corruption in Louisiana. Starting with the Kingfish who belong. So if they're not greasing the right palms, they ain't running no wrestling show here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, yeah. There's rules to this stuff. There's stuff that's got to be done. Ring of Honor, WrestleCon, Cauliflower Alley Club. You better get in contact with Bruce Tharp and see if you got permission to run in New Orleans. on WrestleMania weekend.
It's going to be interesting to see, that's for sure.
Went to swamps and plenty of alligators.
I think I'll stay in my hotel that weekend. I came in contact with one, scared the living daylights out of me. I don't think I ever ran that fast in my life.
Oh, yeah. Like, they're out there. They are out there. But I think WrestleMania in New Orleans is going to really be a big thing. I think it's a smart thing. I know there's a little bit of controversy because normally they do the 10s in Madison Square Garden, but Madison Square Garden is Superdome, you know. It just ain't.
Now, in your wrestling career, I know obviously we still got a long way to go on your career, but if you could have one dream match, past, present superstar, or even current superstar that's now, whatever, who would you like to have had a match against or would like to have a match against? If you chose a past star, obviously, or a future star.
My dream opponent, it would be the Tokyo Monster Kahagas for the NWA World's Heavyweight title in New Orleans in April next year.
Okay. Definitely see that happen. I mean, I want to. You look like a champion. Like right when the first time I actually seen you, I'm like, yeah, you. I checked the developmental page on NXT and I seen if you were there the first time I seen because I'm like, you have to be. You have it.
Well, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get there, man. I'm trying to hit these weights, trying to eat right, and try to watch the product and try to deliver something unique and something special. You know that you're not.
Do you follow NXT as well?
I try to follow NXT as well. Like I know it's on the internet. Like I know Big E Langston, and I watched when he won the title. Who else? Bray Wyatt. I know him. Like me and I used to tag team with Michael Tarver, and we used to beat the dog piss out of Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas all the time. So it's good to watch him coming along. I love Bray Wyatt's new persona, and Bo Dallas on Raw now. I think it's on Raw. Is he on Smack? He's on SmackDown, isn't he?
Bo Dallas actually made an appearance on Raw. But let me ask you, Byron, do you remember when WWE tried to make a similar character as in Waylon Mercy? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember Waylon Mercy's character. I don't remember seeing him, but I've seen video of the character on YouTube.
And
I know Waylon.
They try to do something like that, but I think Bray's character, the way he's doing it, is definitely getting more attention and is getting over a lot more better. At least I would say because the times obviously are different now between now and then, and it's getting over a lot better. But I mean,
oh yeah, like it's reminiscent of Bray Wyatt, but I think he's doing it's reminiscent of Waylon Mercy, but I think he's doing a much better job at it, and like just he reminds you of some cult leader, you know.
Exactly.
The way he's talking and having people following him. Like, I saw the video, like his first entrance video, and it was awesome. Like, you're thinking, is this just in his mind that he's this charismatic and people are following him? Or are these people there and following him? You know, it's a pretty interesting character.
Speaking of that, speaking of leaders and so forth, a little controversial topic came up on Raw, and I'm curious to see what you think about the Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Dutch Mantel, working with Jack Swagger. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's genius.
I agree. I think that's something we haven't seen in such a long time.
Like, it bumped Jack Swagger up to main event status in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and, I mean, you got, like, it's pretty interesting because you got a foreigner who's a champ in the face, and now you got an American who's a heel, you know, and, you know, people are booing the American, you know, against a Mexican national, you know. It's different. And, like, I think Zeb Coulter, basically everything he's saying, you've heard it on Fox News anyway, you know, or coming before you heard all the stuff he's saying has been said on TV before. So it's not like it's anything super offensive where, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. They say it every day.
They do.
He says he just does a better good job of saying it.
Actually, it brought me back to thinking about JBL when he started doing that, when he first came around and it was having issues with Eddie Guerrero back in the day.
Yeah, I remember when he caught the dude coming across the border. You know, that was Rudy Boy Gonzalez, the guy who trained Daniel Bryan, and he bunked out on there.
Kidding.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, I remember that. Like, I think it's awesome. I think it's a good idea. It's a good heat. You know.
It's something we have. It's definitely new. I mean, it's obviously recycled ideas, but I mean, if you bring them in different times, it'll be new to the people who are watching, and it's something I think that we needed, at least now in this era. We'll say. Yeah,
I think he did I think that, like, Dutch Mantell. I never saw Dutch Mantell's work. You know, I knew who he was, and he was doing some stuff at TNA. I knew he wrestled back in the day and was a booker, but I never saw his work. And, like, when he hit his promo, I was like, oh, he is really, really good, you know?
Yeah. He actually managed JBL way back when.
Yeah.
But, what's that?
I said his delivery was impeccable. It was good. I think it's a good angle, and it definitely puts Jack Swagger in the main event picture and makes it, you know, gives him something to work with, you know, because I know it's probably hard for him to get out of with the running eagle and flying eagle and all that stuff, you know. So now he's got something to bite on, you know.
Yep.
I love Jack Swagger and all. I mean, I did not expect him to put him in the main event at WrestleMania, you know, with Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. But I'll be honest, I didn't expect that to happen.
I didn't expect it. Well, when he first debuted as F. Coda, I didn't expect it. But then when they put him in the chamber match, I was like, ooh, I saw that one coming. Like, I mean, he's an American patriot, and you got a Mexican champion. It's got to happen.
So what do you think about the Rock versus CM Punk rivalry?
I thought it was great. Like, I wasn't really... I was a fan of CM Punk in stages. When he fought Jeff Hardy, I thought he was great. When he fought The Rock, I thought he did a great job in building that. But all his other feuds, I never was into, never really liked. But Jeff Hardy and The Rock, like his promos when he got hurt, his promos were like amazing, you know, and like he actually sucked me into a lot of them, you know. So I think him and The Rock went really well. I enjoyed it, and I'm a big Rock fan, so it was good seeing him, you know, being CM Punk and doing his thing, you know. And I say I didn't really enjoy him in his feuds, but I gotta give it to CM Punk. He doesn't have bad matches. I'm not really a fan of his move set, but where he puts his moves are impeccable. He puts his moves in the right spot every time, and has, you know, people chomping at the bits for, especially when he tries something, it doesn't work, you forget about it, and he comes back and hits it in the end. Like, he's got his craft down, you know, on delivering good matches. He delivers. You rarely, if ever, see. I haven't seen a bad CM Punk match in years.
Very good.
Did you expect to see The Rock as the WWE champion?
Oh yeah, I think The Rock being back is good for business. It's good for everybody.
It is.
And it's good publicity for the WWE when a movie star is holding your title and going on interviews with it and making appearances with your title and getting notoriety. I mean, when The Rock won the title, it was on ESPN the next morning. So, you know, I'm pretty sure when Alberto Del Rio won it, it wasn't on ESPN. You know, they gave a shout-out to him on ESPN. That's crazy.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, I do have somebody actually calling in who may have a question for you. You have for a question?
Sure.
All righty. We'll take a quick break and be back in just a moment.
All right.
All right. Let's bring out, we are actually talking to Byron Wilcott, NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, and if I'm wrong, Byron, I know, will correct me. All righty.
That's it.
Ah, got it right, huh?
Oh, yeah, you got it. I said it and remember it now. That's
What's
good
that?
advice I've got. That's another good piece of advice I got. Say it over and over until they believe it.
Hey, works for me. But I got a caller on the line. He is a mutual friend of myself and of Austin. He actually is a fan of yours as well, and he lives actually in the Louisiana area as well. His name is Matt, and I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. He's got a couple questions for you. And
all right,
from there, we'll go ahead and close out the show at the end there. Here, let's bring him on.
Okay.
Matt, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Thank you, Felix. Byron, it's so good to talk to a Freeport native. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. I've known you since a long time. I remember when you said it's the KYD, the junkyard dog, a long time ago, sir.
Oh, yeah. Up and down in Lafayette, JYD.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. I got a great question for you. You remember Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, right?
Did we lose him? Are you there, Byron?
Yeah, I'm here. What did he say?
If you remember Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig.
Yeah, I've wrestled Joe Hennig. I wrestled Mr. Perfect's son.
That is so cool. I'm a huge friend with him and you as well. I know y'all go way back in the NWA, and I remember. I think that you and Kurt were NWA tag team champions, I believe, in the past.
They were.
Who?
You and Kurt Hennig.
Oh, no, not me and Kurt Hennig.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I thought it wrong. But anyway, I got a question for you. Okay. What would you do if you signed with WWE? Who would you tag with?
Who would you want to tag with?
WWE, who would I tag with? I mean, the logical choice would probably be Kofi Kingston.
Oh, I knew that. I knew.
Yeah. Kofi Kingston. Sorry.
Easy money is to sign with Kofi Kingston and then throw him through a glass window at the barbershop.
I got to tell you, the barbershop, it was a really cool thing that Michael Sean Hickabon, Shawn Michaels, and Marty Jannetty have. That was definitely epic. That was really huge.
Did you have any other questions for him, Matt?
Yes, I do. I got one more question to close out the show, Felix. Okay, what do you think about this Aces and Eights thing in TNA wrestling? I noticed that you watch some TNA as of late, and I wanted to know, what do you think about what's going on? I think Eric Bischoff has something to do with it.
Do you follow TNA currently?
I think the whole Aces and Eights is a total ripoff of Ryan Genesis.
I agree.
King of the Underground. I think it's a whole ripoff of. So I really think that Jeff Jarrett, Dixie Carter, Eric Bischoff, Scott Summers, and Ryan Genesis a paycheck.
Wow, that is huge.
And the NWA is where it's at.
Yeah, I love the NWA. I wish the NWA was still here today, sir.
It is.
They are. The NWA is still here today, brother.
Live and well.
That is amazing. I heard you got a show in Dallas this weekend, and I think I might come down there to check it out.
Yeah, on April 20th, look on my Facebook page.
Sure will.
Facebook.com/Byron.Wilcott. On April 20th, NWA is having their biggest show of the year. It's called. It's gonna be in Houston, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be filmed. It's gonna be filmed and put on DVD, and it's also gonna be broadcast on television in the Houston area. So you should come out.
That is gonna be cool. I can't wait to check this out.
April 20th, come on out there to Houston, Texas. Look it up on my Facebook page, Byron Wilcott. I'm the only one on the whole world. I'm the only Byron Wilcott.
That's right, sir. One of my favorites of all time.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All righty, Matt. Thank you again for calling in, buddy.
You're welcome. Good night, guys.
All right, take care.
All right, go check out that NWA website.
I sure will right now. I'm on.
All right.
All righty. Well, that was our buddy Matt. I think we lost him. Well, anywho, that was fun. I mean, I was curious because I know I wasn't sure if you had mentioned that you followed TNA or not. If you're up to date with what's going on with their show as well.
I do watch TNA. I think TNA is a good alternative. You know, the more wrestling we got out there, from the NWA to TNA to ROH to CZW, I love Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. If you don't know, Super Dragon is my favorite indie wrestler of all time. Nobody on the indie itself. But if all of those people, all those companies, the more that they do well, it's better for everybody. It's everybody can learn from everybody, and everybody can piggyback and get better, you know. So I keep up with TNA, I keep up with PWG, ROH, NXT, all that. I try to keep up with it all. I'm a fan of wrestling.
Both myself and Austin have one last question before we let you go. My question is, during the Attitude Era, if you could pick one particular moment in time, in that time frame, that was one of your favorite moments that stick out, or that you still look at it and be like, wow, did they really just do that? What would you say was one of your favorite moments during that time?
Attitude Era. I will say that my favorite Attitude Era was when it had to be anything with The Rock and Triple H. Those are my two favorite wrestlers in the Attitude Era in WWF. Was The Rock and not Stone Cold, The Rock and Triple H. But I think the most memorable things that I remember, I love promos. And so when The Rock did that promo on Billy Gunn, it was hilarious. I died laughing. I rewound it when he was like, "My name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is." He was like he was God. That was hilarious.
Yes, it's on the DVD too. It is on the DVD.
It's on the DVD. He's like, "Well, my name's Billy, and I want to know this and that." And The Rock acted like he was God. That was hilarious. That was like one of the best promos that I remember when I was from the Attitude Era. And I loved anything The Rock and Triple H did. I ate up. You know, I was a big Triple H fan of Triple H's wrestling, and a big fan of The Rock's showmanship.
You must have been a big fan of when DX made fun of the Nation.
Well, I'm not really a DX fan. You know, like, see, I came in on the tail, like, when I didn't watch, like, I was a big WCW fan, honestly. So,
fair enough.
When it was big with Shawn Michaels, I was not watching WWF. I'm from Louisiana. You know, we watch WCW and World Class down here. You know, so Ric Flair, Sting, Booker T, Benoit, Norman Smiley, Alex Wright, Eddie Guerrero, those are my dudes, you know.
That takes me back.
With Shawn Michaels and DX, and then we're doing all of that, I was watching WCW at that time. What got me to turn over to WWF was The Rock. I just switched over because my little brother is a big Stone Cold fan. And he always, switch the channel. I was like, I don't want to see that. I ain't studying no Stone Cold, you know. And then I switched it one day, and I saw The Rock. And, like, he had this shirt on, this cool shiny shirt. I was like, damn, that's a cool dude right there. And he starts talking, and I was like, oh my God, this dude can talk. And so that's when I started watching WWF again. Like, I watched it when Hulk Hogan was around, and then when he left, I kind of stopped watching a lot. And then, but when I saw The Rock, that was when I started switching channels and being a part of the Monday Night Wars, and switching channels and trying to see both shows. You know. So I didn't see much of DX in that incarnation.
Did you have a question for him, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, I really look forward to seeing you as the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, like hopefully soon after you go around the run with the let me see if I can say this right, North American Heavyweight title.
There you go.
I look forward to seeing us, the World Heavyweight Champion of NWA. I know it's going to happen soon.
Hey, I plan on doing it. I'm going to let Cahagas hold it for just a little while longer, but I will be taking it from him very, very soon. But you should come out. Where do y'all live?
Actually, he lives in Louisiana, too.
Yeah, I live in Houma, Louisiana. I do all the graphic designing stuff for Elite Championship Wrestling.
Okay. Like, I think I've seen, is Mardi Gras? No, not Mardi Gras. Herman, the Players Club. What is Herman's wrestling name? Stan. No, it's not Stan.
Stan Sweetan?
Yeah, Stan Sweetan. The company he works for in Houma. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Carson works there. Cool. Yeah, I was that's what I did. I do the graphic designer for that stuff, and so you do Wildcat stuff. You're in Wildcat.
I am in Wildcat. I am a Wildcat member. As a matter of fact, Luke Hawks needs to send me my tracksuit if he's listening to that. He was supposed to send me a Wildcat tracksuit for Christmas, but
blue.
Everybody else has got theirs, but addictive and expensive ain't got his. I don't know why.
I got to ask because I'm a California guy. I don't know none of that. What you two were just talking about. Could you clarify for the uneducated Californian people?
Oh, Wildcat. Well, Wildcat is the premier wrestling company in Louisiana. It's run by Luke Hawks, who I affectionately call Altar Boy Luke. He doesn't like anybody to call him that, but I still call him that. And it's a company run out of New Orleans, and Luke Hawks runs it, and it's called Wildcat Pro Wrestling.
Nice.
And it's a pretty cool place. They pack from anywhere from 500 to 700 fans in the arena, and it's a really good show. I think their next show is on March 2nd in New Orleans. And you can check out my Facebook page, and I'll have all that details on it for you if you want to come out.
Do you only have just the Facebook page? Do you have a Twitter possibly, or no?
I did have a Twitter. It's what is it? Twitter. Do you do Twitter? Is it just? It's just at Byron Wilcott, I believe.
Okay.
How do you do that? Twitter.com at whatever. I think it's at Byron Wilcott. I'm not a Twitterer, I guess. I don't tweet that often. I do have one though. I do a little bit. So if you're on there, follow me. Every so often, I'll tweet something.
Gotcha. So it's like twitter.com/Byron Wilcott. Okay.
I think they're on Twitter is at whatever it is, at such and such and such and such. Twitter.com at blah, 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 blah. So mine's Twitter.com at Byron Wilcott, Wilcott. So you're from California? Where in California are you?
Southern part. Actually, I'm actually very about. Are you familiar with Rikishi's school out here? He has
heard of it.
Knox Pro. I believe it's Knox Pro Entertainment or something like that. With Rikishi and Gangrel.
Okay, cool. Is it in Los Angeles?
It's in Sun Valley, California. I'm like a good hour and a half away from there.
Do you know Super Dragon?
I've heard that name. I haven't actually kept up with their shows, unfortunately.
Super Dragon is just the greatest thing to ever come out